I do research because I'm really curious about things, and there's a lot of things that we don't know. I'm a social science researcher, so we have the whole world of human behavior, things that humans have created, organizations, politics, countries, laws, and these are enormously complex, and the ways that they work are often mysterious and surprising. And one thing I've always noticed about it that I really think of almost every day is how much humility you have to have in the social sciences, because pretty much whenever we look at a law or we look at a policy and we're trying to change the world, it's pretty much guaranteed not to go exactly the way you think. And that's because there's so much complex stuff going on. And so that's what I'm really interested in. How do we try to change the world with laws, policies, things we do in coordination with other people, and how does that work? How can we do that better? You know, I wrote the first and to date only academic study of our vaccine injury compensation court. So thinking about how scientists and lawyers come together to solve or try to figure out what vaccine side effects might have actually caused problems. And it turns out that's really hard to do, and law and science have to work together on that. And I wrote that book before the COVID pandemic, but it sort of was, you know, I had a lot of insights later that I was able to share. So I remain proud of that. I've also done some recent work trying to figure out how anti-discrimination rights are being implemented in our hospitals and healthcare settings. We had some new laws and regulations about that. There's a lot that's going to stand in the way of this law really having the effects that we want it to have, because we always know that law doesn't really transform in quite the ways that we expect. I was like, I kind of think it's not going to go that way, but let's find out. So I've done the only study of looking at that implementation. You know, my RAs and I called 775 hospitals around the country to try to figure out what's going on. So, and that's what social scientists try to do. We do kind of systematic studies of the social world. I try to find ways to bring everyone together to think about, you know, sexual harassment in the sciences, or transgender health rights, or Black Lives Matter and its impact. These things that are really big issues that everyone cares about, but how do we actually get going on a research project or make progress, or who needs a collaborator? Just kind of I think research is built on relationships, and relationship building is a lot of what I try to do. Oh gosh, well, I've done a lot of different projects, and each project has its own impetus. You know, you've got to come from a personal place. I always try to pick that special place of, I have enough in personal investment in this, where I really care about, you know, how this could matter to people, but it's not so close, so personal that I feel like I can't approach it as a researcher. Younger girls love science, they're totally into it. We've gotten a lot of progress with getting women and girls into STEM fields over the years, but then they're dropping out, or they find that they come into an environment that's more hostile than they've been promised. If there's a little more, you know, the rah-rah stuff wears off. So I think now we really need to turn to that, you know, making the STEM fields accessible and open and friendly, nurturing, where all people can thrive, especially women and girls. We know there are particular problems there. We've actually done a pretty good job on the early end of the pipeline, which is great. But that turns out to be the easy part.